What do you think?
Fantastic.
I can't believe how good that looked, Justin.
Not
G'day,
bad,
everybody, and welcome to the Camera Life podcast. This is the Random Photography Show, and it is the 9th of February, 2026. And we're coming to you live from all over the country, really, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But if you're paying attention, you may have noticed our new introduction, produced by not a video guy, Justin.
Nope.
I think it's a fair effort. Should we give it a little bit of a score, guys? Alex, what would you score it out of 5 for that intro?
Sure, 5. It's great.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
I'll take it.
You just won a lucky strap. Well done. What about you, Joe?
If it's for a lucky strap, I'll also give it a 5.
What would it be if it wasn't for a prize?
4.9.
Well played. And of course, yes, we're not here alone. Justin is here though. G'day, mate. How are you?
I'm good. I spent, as Yelena's just commented here, I spent way too much time making that intro today on Canva. Yep. I was sweating. I probably should have made it in Final Cut or something, but I sort of got too deep halfway through and I was like, oh, this has gotten more complicated than expected. But yeah, otherwise I'm good. Real good.
All right. Good. Now, of course, being the Random Photography Show, we've got a bunch of stuff to get through tonight. We've got news, we've got image reviews. I've got something in a box that I'm going to unpack in front of you all live, although I don't have my fake nails on, so I can't do the clicky thing that all the young folks are doing. But we are joined tonight by Joe Orchard, who is what is your title at Blonde Robot, Joe? What is your official title?
I asked for a title change recently just because, just for the sake of it. No, I'm kidding. I'm a content producer, but when I did the interview, it was named something else. And then when I got hired, it changes a lot. But yeah, so I work with the marketing team at Blonde Robot. We import and distribute all sorts of different media tech and goods. Angel Bird, Think Tank, Tamron, Red, and part of the marketing team, I do all of their content, so social media across those platforms. And I guess most poignantly, and what's occupies a lot of my week, is the Get the Shot podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we interview various photographers. We've got Dennis in the chat somewhere.
Mostly C graders, yeah. Mostly C graders, Dennis Smith. And we're so sorry you had to interview Glenn Lavender. We've done that a couple of times.
He was the first one I did, and he was just the worst. I can't believe it. Yeah.
He's going to be furious.
A funny story with... Yeah, sorry. Carry on, Greg.
No, you're right, mate. Sorry to cut you off. We'll certainly get to unpacking a little bit more about who you are and what you do over at Blonde Robot and for Tamron Australia. But before we do that, we're joined by another special guest. It's Alex Frayne, everybody. For those of you that have been around for a while, Alex has rejoined us tonight to talk about an exhibition he's got coming up. And part of the seed of that exhibition was talked about in our March 2025 podcast interview with Alex. So you can roll back the clock and watch that one, not now, but later. And Justin's even got his book.
Oh, yeah. I like this book. I really
And we talk a lot about that book. Yeah. And we talk a lot about that book in that interview. But Alex, you've got something new coming up in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
What's happening? How are you and what's going on?
Well, things are good. Did 3 trips to America. And I think the last time we spoke, I'd just come back from the 3rd trip. And the idea was always to make a photographic essay out of this crazy place in America, called America, which is more bizarre than even I could ever imagine. The idea also was to find, an endpoint for the imagery. And this time I thought not so much in the book sense, but an exhibition. So I pitched the idea to the Adelaide Festival of Arts, which is, the big dance in Adelaide. Yep. Every Mad March, you've got the Fringe and you've got WOMAD and you've got the Adelaide Festival of Arts. So having already done a show at the Adelaide Festival of Arts in 23, I re-pitched this idea to them as, a standard exhibition. And they came back with, we're interested, but we'd like a venue that, have you got a venue? So I had to go and get a venue, which ended up being Isla, which is the Immersive Light and Art exhibition space in Light Square in Adelaide, which is a beautiful 3-story venue, quite an immersive venue. It's very screen-based, but it also has traditional gallery space. So, it was a matter of getting a curator on board, a producer on board, getting contracts in place, so 3-way contracts with the Adelaide Festival and the venue, and then curating the work, which was 2,000 or 3,000 film images down to 50. So brought in a good curator from Adelaide Contemporary Experimental Arts, Danny Zavala, and we started work. We started to pare it back, and she readily identified some of the themes which I sort of deep down kind of knew were existing in the works. Really, it's all about end of empire, because America is steeply in decline. It was clear when I got there that this America was not the America that I'd seen through movies and popular culture, and it was an America which is going through that end stage of empire where towns have disappeared. Some towns have half the population they did 5 years ago. Other towns are decimated and have no employment. This is all great for camera, but it was quite emotional to see such a powerful world leader going through this. So the curator and I started to sort of really hone the collection to speak to that theme, because I guess one of the things that's hard about curating is, do you show the best work, or do you show a coherent series of images which are part of thematically connected, that have a common aesthetic, but also a common body politic and a common kind of theme. So that was tough. That was like a month or so of deciding what to leave out, really. The same way that a filmmaker will leave out some of the best stuff that they think they've got, because the editor doesn't think it works. So a curator can be likened to a bit of an editor. And then we locked off what we were going to print. So they're all about 1.5 meters wide by about 1 meter tall, so kind of large frames, big, thick frames under glass. For the Adelaide Festival, why the hell wouldn't you, go hard? It's an opportunity. You get an opportunity to be in a big show like this, and the festivals, it covers visual arts, obviously drama, dance, choreography. Writers' Week, not so. That's been cancelled this year. Well, I'm sure viewers will know what happened there. But, Isabelle Huppert is coming into town to perform What Mary Said, Queen Mary of Scots. So, this is a big show, and I just think we had to go for it. So there was a little bit of donor fundraising involved. So, I had some angels come in to help with, the cost of the thing. The venue, the items that the venue charged for were reduced. So I'm very grateful for that. So it's been a real team effort to get things going, because it could have been, 100 grand plus. In the end, it sort of turned out about 50 grand. So that was a little bit of state, a little bit of the donor, a little bit of mine. This is how we roll.
It's interesting hearing you, and we talked a little bit before we went live, but you've just detailed a whole bunch of admin tasks that on a good day would paralyze me. But there was nothing in there about the business of photography. And we talked earlier about how you just want to get out and shoot, but you've got so many loose ends to tie off in preparation for this festival. It's almost a body of work in itself. It's a shame you don't have a documentary crew following you around, not Melania style, but just to see what it's like for a professional photographer, an artistic photographer who's about to put on a huge exhibition at an internationally recognized event. To see the behind the scenes, I think would be fascinating. Justin, do you mind just bringing up the festival's page, the ILA page? Manifest Destiny, it runs from the 28th of February to the 15th of March. It's from Monday to Sunday, but it's closed Tuesdays. And on the site, which we'll drop in the show notes for everyone later to check out, it goes into a lot of detail about this immersive experience that you've created. Now, you're also collaborating with a musician. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So half of the exhibition is really standard traditional works on paper framed. The other half is in their, what they call their light studio, which is it's Australia's biggest LED screen. It's a great big curved screen in a room, 12 foot high. It's huge. It's massive. And so part of the deal with Isla was that they wanted that space used. So I got together with some 3D artists and Donnie Sloan, who is actually an old school friend. He was the producer of Empire of the Sun, and he wrote some of their biggest hits. So we got together and, rather than just have images on an LED screen that are sort of silent, I thought, let's put some music into the mix. So he's composed music for the duration of the short film, which is really a short film of my stills, but rendered, animated, not 3D, just animated. We've got Anna Fraser, who's one of Australia's best in this space. She does all the Sydney Opera House projections and such. So
wow, yeah.
Yeah, so we're lucky to have her involved, and she's put together a little film of the images, but not a slideshow. And Donnie's composed the music, and it's very much in that same along the lines of Empire of the Sun. He wrote that song "Walking on a Dream," which was a big hit worldwide.
Whoa, yeah, seriously?
He wrote that in Kent Town in Adelaide when he was sharing an apartment with someone. Before that, he'd been in Sneaky Sound System, and then he left and went to America to find his fortune. So we're lucky to have Donnie involved. He's a much bigger name than me, and he's got world profile. So I think the fact that he's on board kind of made the festival really say, yes, we want the show. Because the festivals, they tend to sort of rely on name artists like him to, especially in the visual arts realm, for the Adelaide Festival, they want to have that kind of name on posters.
Yeah, we see it in the Ballarat Biennial too. You see a lot of big international names get just to help to bolster ticket sales a bit, I think. And it's not to say we don't have amazing talent here, but we do see that at these sorts of festivals.
Sure, yeah, and because it's a ticketed event, I needed to feel comfortable that we could sell tickets for $30 a ticket. In Adelaide, there is a tradition through SALA, the Fringe, the Adelaide Festival, and in the visual arts, there's a tradition of free events, which I think has its upside and it has its downside. The downside is it sort of trains people to expect that visual arts in Adelaide are free everywhere. I hope that breaking that habit is not too hard for some people. I hope that they'll say, well, $30 a ticket, it's affordable.
Yeah,
to get
it's a day out, isn't it?
Show.
Yeah, and you get to check out other artists' work. You get to be involved in what's going on in town. So it's amazing.
You get to see the works with music and in a great space. So I hope it's not too much. But there was still quite a big debate, back in October when we were putting the whole thing together about whether it was going to be free or not. And I don't think people on either side of that debate have changed their minds. But I think maybe it's a generational thing. Like, I think in the 80s and 90s in Adelaide, visual arts was just like a free thing, right? And it was experimental. There were some famous experimental places in Adelaide, and it was all kind of radical stuff and really cutting edge and contemporary, and it was free. And Andy Warhol 2 years ago or 3 years ago at the Adelaide Festival, that was really cheap. Like, it was $20 to see the most famous artists of the 20th century. So, there is that tradition of being low-cost visual arts in Adelaide because it's kind of expected. But, I don't think we've sold lots of tickets already, so I think we're okay.
Yeah. I think just on that, I think I feel that art should be accessible to everyone, but it shouldn't come at the cost of the artist.
Absolutely.
And then I could get dug into a tanks and submarine old man rage debate, but I'm not going to on this show. We'll save that for another show. But that's
another. I'll join you on that show.
Good. I love it. But so Manifest Destiny. Now you've got the main show, but there's also 3 other intimate events. Justin, if you could just scroll down quickly to the bottom, and we'll just tick these off. Talk to us about these 3 events.
So the Lab Rats. The first one there is basically I'm going to be showing people how I developed film on the road in America. So I'm going to actually have a roll of film, take it out of the camera in a dark bag and process it right through to the development stage and hanging it up to dry.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, there's a sort of obviously renewed interest in analog formats, particularly buying film. Especially younger people are kind of finding their parents' cameras and experimenting with film. So I'm going to show the next step of developing. Maybe I'll show some scans, if we've got some time. But there's a whole lot of people out there who are fascinated. A lot of people think that you need a dark room to develop film. You don't. You just need a dark bag. You can do it in daylight, which is what I do. So I need to sort of, demythologize the whole thing a bit. The immersive table is a big dinner which people buy tickets for, and they're booked months in advance. It's a popular thing at Isla, which is this idea of having a show, but also having a dinner, which kind of along with the show. They have a room downstairs, which is just 4 walls of LED screens. And so, they'll feast on American cuisine. So I've started to put together a menu of American kind of delicacies, which are,
what is an American delicacy?
Hot dogs.
Oh God, I mean, obviously you've got your
Nashville-style
ribs.
fried chicken. Tell me.
Yeah.
That's it. You've got your ribs, your wings. You've got your gumbo if you're talking down New Orleans. You've got fried everything. You've got your hot dogs and ice cream. So, we've got a gourmet cook who's trying to sort of tart up what I would call basically it's just junk food and reinterpret American cuisine in a sort of haute cuisine way. And
I haven't had dinner yet, Alex. This was a bad idea to have this conversation.
Now I feel like a bucket of chicken.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a Twinkie and some Dr. Pepper. American food, it takes a bit of getting used to. It ain't, they don't have the stuff that we have. They're not into, the steaks are not as good, and they're not into vegetables and salad like we are. And if anyone's going to go to America and spend like a month there, my advice is be careful of the food, because you'll probably enjoy the fried food for the first 2 days, but then you'll find it sort of revolting. And so I always say, if you can find a steakhouse in whatever town in America you are, go there, because you'll get your meat and potatoes and veg and salad, and you won't get that, everywhere in America. Like it is here, we get great food. We're spoiled because we've got cattle. But, over there, it's a different cuisine, and it's not something that I'd recommend to anyone for more than a couple of days, unless you've got a good plan. You've got to have that plan to find decent food, because it gets you down after a while.
And just finally, while we're on the topic of food, the final event is the final event listed on the site is Art Salon Lunch. What's that one about?
Yes, that's just a small gathering for collectors, some of who would know my work, some of who would own the work. It's a little conversation with Tansy Curtin, who's the curator at the Art Gallery of South Australia.
Yep.
She's the senior curator there. So she will be talking more about the art of the photography and aesthetics, and less the politics. When people talk about this event, they tend to sort of immediately insert the politics of the whole thing into it, which is, obviously in our faces every day. I think the discussion with Tansy will be a chance to step away from that and into, my happy place, which is talking about, framing, composition, aesthetics, what I like to see through the lens, and how I see the world. So, that'll be a fun little talk with her. She's an excellent interviewer at the Art Gallery, but it will be at the venue, Isla, again in that room with 4 walls of LED. So, 3 events that people can book. It's going to be amazing. A busy 2 weeks. Yeah, busy 2 weeks.
I bet. And you've got a lot of food to tuck away as well during that time. So good luck with that. But look, it sounds amazing. That we're almost out of time, Alex. But just very quickly, I believe you've picked up recently a new zombie apocalypse camera, and you fitted it with a Lucky Strap. What did you get?
Well, I mean, look at this strap. This was from Lucky Strap, and there we have the Panasonic S9, which is my new favorite camera. It's a compact without a viewfinder, but I'm getting over that. I'm learning how to use LED. And the best thing is this beautiful strap that Lucky Straps sent to me last time, which has a little embossed. You can see the embossed name there.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, very happy with that.
Classy, very classy. What lens are you rocking at the moment? Yeah. What lens are you rocking on that at the moment?
That's just the 20 to 60 kit lens, which has been really fine. I want to get the 50mm pancake prime for that camera. It's the L mount system. I don't have any other Lumix or Panasonic lenses. Some of my richer friends have Leica systems, so theoretically I can throw on one of their lenses and pretend that I'm a retired doctor.
Yeah. You might have to sign some sort of insurance waiver or something, perhaps.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Those Leica users are a bit funny.
I love the full frame of the compact. It's beautiful for close-ups. It's got all the LUTs in there, which I don't use, but one day I'll learn how to use them. I just shoot, raw, and beautiful images. Particularly the skies are nice and up, more like a film image, with the bright skies. So I do shoot film mainly, but I have to say at the moment I've been rocking the S9 and loving it. But thank you for the strap that you sent a year ago.
Yeah,
you are more than welcome.
Glad
it's getting some use.
Yeah, absolutely. So just a reminder to everyone, Alex Frayne, Manifest Destiny. It's at the Adelaide Festival between the 28th of February and the 15th of March, Monday to Sunday, closed on Tuesdays. We'll drop the link in the chat.
Yep. And it's in the description as well. Yeah.
And it's in the video description. So please, guys, just check it out. Have a look. If you're in the hood for the festival, then it's only a short and a relatively inexpensive ticket to go and check out Alex's work at ILA. But look, this sounds amazing, Alex. We're really proud of you and incredibly thrilled for you that this is something that you hinted at 11 months ago when we last spoke, and to have you reach out to us over the weekend and just say, hey, it's happening. Can we talk about it? We're very excited to get you on and share the great news. So we wish you nothing but good luck with it. And I'm sure it's going to be a huge success.
Thank you, Greg. Thanks, Joe. And thanks, Justin.
No worries.
Very welcome.
Dropping in.
Yeah. Well, look, we'll let you get on with your day and learning how to use your LUTs on your Panasonic. And look, thanks again, mate, and all the best. And maybe down the track we'll get you back to have a chat about what you're working on next.
Yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure,
right.
but I'll always come to you. Thank you.
Perfect.
Cool. All right, mate. All the best. Thanks for dropping by, Alex.
See you, mate.
Catch you.
Bye-bye. See you, Justin.
See ya.
There we go.
And then that one like that. Okay.
That sounds like such a cool experience.
I know.
And now I have to top that.
You do.
Yeah. What are you working on, Joe?
Pressure, Joe?
What's your exhibition?
What have you done that's worthy?
Well, the ironic thing about me hosting a photographer podcast is I don't actually have a photographer background.
No, you don't, do you?
No, I'm a videographer by trade. I still use lenses. I'm still using DSLRs and mirrorless, and so I know all of that stuff. And I've learned a lot doing this. I think that I'm sure you guys have found with doing this in your show, you think you know stuff, and then you speak to all these different people from different parts, and they just teach you way more than you ever thought you could imagine. So,
yep.
Lots of free education doing this podcast. It's
but that's part of the reason why we do it as well, because don't tell anyone that we get anything out of this. But for the community, everyone's picking up ideas and inspiration and learning stuff or making connections with people that can help them learn it. So I think that's a really important part of why we do photography podcasts, at least over here at the Camera Life. Can't speak for you Tamron folk.
Yeah.
Speaking of connections, I'm going to quickly say hi to the chat because we haven't done that yet. Thanks for hanging with us, chat, while we were chatting to Alex. What I first want to bring up is so where is it? Here we go. Felicity Johnson, good to see you. Nearly blew out my eardrums. Was the intro really that loud? Because I did turn the volume down, but I have a feeling something's like automatically like leveling bring it back up to unity or whatever, or normalizing the audio, because I turned it down. I was worried about that. So was it loud? Everyone tell me. What else? Philip Johnson's here. Dennis is here, says, Joe, you legend.
I've got a fan.
You've got a fan. What else? Bruce says, WTF. I assume that's about the intro. Was it that bad, Bruce? And he also says hi. Dennis says 2.3 out of 5.
What?
It's rough.
Rude.
Oscar material. What else? Who else is? Levin's here. Good to see you, Levin. Levin's just
Levin's going to join us next week too.
Yeah, he's launched a nice new tour, new Victorian photography tour. So got to check that out next week. He'll tell us all about it.
Plus, he's been doing some very, very interesting photography work from the cockpit.
He sent that to me because he's a pilot.
So he's a commercial airline pilot. He travels abroad and around Australia, and he's got some work to show us that most people don't get to see. Because
what was your name again? Sorry,
the name
Levin Barrett. Yep.
11. All right.
photography.
Expect
11.
an email from me. You're hopping on my show too.
Yeah, he is a cool dude. And I've got some of those images, but I'm not going to bring him up tonight. I'm going to wait till he's on the show so we can have a look, get his commentary. Who else? Lucinda's here. Good to see you. Gareth Davies says good morning. Good morning.
Hey, Gareth.
Craig Murphy. Glenn Lavender, of course. Go big or go home. That was in relation to the giant prints of Alex's. That's crazy. 1 by 1.5. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Paul says, good afternoon from Perth. Late to the party. That's okay.
You're
Glad you're here.
What else? Lucinda went to the Andy Warhol show twice. Was in Adelaide for 3 days. Oh, and the Head-On Photo Expo is currently on over in Perth, which is unfortunately a long way away for us, but it is happening.
No road trip this time.
No, it's a bit of a hike.
Yeah.
Rick Nelson, good to see you. Yeah, KFC. That's American food.
Stop reminding me, man.
What else? I think that's about it. Who else is here? You guys were on time. Yeah, we were on time. We were so organised. The intro didn't show for you. No. Oh, Rick Nelson said it was good. Bruce says wasn't bad. Just surprised. I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed. Oh, hang on. 2.3 out of 5 is a very high score. Okay, I'll take it.
Is it? In whose book?
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Now we've seen everybody.
So, aside from being here to steal our trade secrets, Joe, let's just dig into a little bit about who you are and what makes you tick.
Yeah, so
your turn in the hot seat.
My turn in the hot seat. So thank you everyone for jumping on and listening so far. As I said earlier, I'm the host of the Get the Shot podcast. It's hosted with Tamron Australia. Yes, that Tamron. And we interview photographers, videographers, all these different perspectives, and it's about the creative process. We sort of believe that if you're out shooting, that's what's the most important thing. It doesn't matter if you use a Sony system, Elmat, Nikon, whatever it may be. We want to hear your stories and we want to know what you're up to. And so that was the genesis of the podcast. And we've recorded 19, I think, which has gone by really, really, really quickly. And I've been absolutely blown away by what I've learned, what I've done. And yeah, aside from that, bit of videography work here and there. A lot of social media stuff. I think we'll touch more on that a little bit later. But that's sort of what I'm up to. Yeah.
And so your background, you said that you're not a stills guy, obviously. You're a videographer. And you've even your old videography business was OMFG Media.
Yeah, that stands for Orchard McNeely Family Group, but I've been told it also stands for something else.
It does stand for something else. I was wondering whether you did that on purpose because it was funny.
That was so Orchard's, of course, Dad's name, McNeely's mum's name, and that was something my dad said as a joke, and I'm like, this is funny.
I love it.
And so it kind of became a bit of a trademark for me to use acronyms like that. My last podcast was called Film Media Love. So
I saw that when I was having a click around earlier. I saw that. I don't know if I saw another one as well, maybe that was I saw the FML. I can't remember what else I saw.
I've done a few different attempts at podcasts, but FML I used to live in Germany and I really got along with my boss over there, who's this quirky West Berliner named Jan. And him and I just really got along and we're like, let's just do a podcast. It's a good way to stay in touch. And so that was our Monday night activity.
Pretty cool.
But OMFG Media sounds more complex than it was. I was just a freelance videographer, and in classic fashion, I go to uni and study media, and I couldn't get a job. And so, like a lot of people, you've got a camera, you've got time, may as well try and earn some money from it. And I found myself in some pretty funny circumstances and situations and shoots.
Yep. That's cool.
Was there anything just absolutely wildly crazy that you can remember? Just the craziest of the crazy?
A fun one I like to tell people was my friends run a company called Pretty Privilege, and they have a mascot, which is a dude wearing a pink morph suit. And so, very, very small fitting. And we were on a boat going up and down the Yarra, holding up a sign saying, "Is this demure?" which was a meme at the time. And it was just this big publicity stunt. And I had to film it. And because they were going up and down the Yarra in Melbourne at like 5 knots, I had to find a way to be sometimes ahead of them, sometimes behind them. And I know I'm in perfect condition. I look like a statue of David, but I actually can't run that far and carry all my gear. So I actually had an e-scooter, and I would zoom up, park myself. I'd be on a constant call with the Georgia who was driving the boat. And I'd be like, all right, I'm ahead of you. I'm on this bridge. Slow down now. And then I would get the shot, and then I would move to another location. And we did like 4 laps. And you'd see people standing around with their phones like, what the hell's going on? But yeah.
Very nice.
That's
I mean,
cool.
It's probably the best way to get around Melbourne for a shoot now.
Yeah.
An e-scooter. Yeah. If you don't have to travel long distances. Because you don't get stuck in traffic. You're moving. You can keep an eye on everything.
Oh man,
I've been on street walks where the group kind of gets split up and people fall behind as they stop to capture a particular part of light. And then every now and then you'll see someone just catch up to the group. They'll just be on a line bike or a scooter. They'll just park it, get off, and keep walking with the rest of the group. It's crazy.
They got rid of a lot of them in Melbourne. People were sort of sick.
They're in
of
the
them.
Yarra.
Yeah, they're in the river still.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy.
Every now and then you see on the news where they go, this crew is pulling, and they've got these cranes and they're just pulling up masses of bikes. And I just think, all that crap in the river. Although on that note, Joe, you will probably know this better than I will, but I've seen a lot of social media stuff where videographers and cinematographers are using almost like a scooter that has one of those sort of steady camera rigs built into it. And some of them are sort of 4 wheels, some are 3 wheels. And they use it to get, obviously fast moving shots. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that whole genre on social media of like janky setups where people are just attaching gimbals to like race cars and stuff like that. Like before drones were commercially available, people were building them themselves in their garages. And I love that stuff. It's so exciting to see, and it gets you a perspective that you wouldn't normally get. I'm going to shout out a really popular Instagram account, Shitty Rigs. Have you guys heard of them?
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that.
It's everything that I've just mentioned. It's people duct taping, cameras to ceilings and stuff like that. It's actually hilarious.
That's cool. I think I see one pretty regularly that is that's not the one I'm looking for. Oh, maybe that is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, because it's like lighting as well in the sort of the lower end film industry and stuff like that. And it's just whatever they can find to make it work on the day. It's good. It's so good.
It's so good as well, because whether you're if you're trying to enter film or make short films, you can recognize yourself there. But once you've gone past that or succeeded, you can recognize this is what I was doing too. I was doing janky stuff. And I think people love that behind the scenes sort of look as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely a vibe for that at the moment.
Yeah, I'll quickly bring one up and then we better get into the news. We're going to have another late show if I'm not fast. Here's an example of a lighting rig. That's
horrendous.
What looks
total
to be
cost $22.50.
A tube light hanging from, I don't know, some string attached to some coat hangers, which is attached to a pole, which is taped to the ceiling with gaffer tape.
And that's not like their roof. That's their mum's roof or their auntie's roof or something like that. Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
It's pretty good. It's worth a follow. Yeah. Like there's another.
You've done a few custom rigs, Justin. You made that around the neck point of view.
Yeah, but that was, compared to this, that looked like a very professional setup compared to this. I've definitely done some more sketchy stuff. I can't even remember, but yeah, back in the day, I used to try like for modifiers and things like that. You wouldn't buy stuff; you just try and make something.
Yeah, I used to make my own reflectors when I was doing product shots early on.
Yeah, exactly.
Because reflectors are expensive.
Gotta be.
So yeah, very cool. All right. Well, thanks for that little catch up, Joe. We get a bit of a flavour for who you are. So, how long have you been doing the Tamron podcast now?
We are 5 months in. We've got 17 episodes out so far. Someone in the chat, the IG handle was Shitty Rigs, just one word. So 17 episodes out. We've had all sorts of different people on. We've got some really, really exciting ones booked and planned in the future. I'll keep it mysterious just to irritate everyone and make you subscribe.
Come on, give us something. Oh, actually, you know what we should hassle you for? Is there something? Okay. Is there any cool products coming out that you know about that we don't know about that you shouldn't tell us about, but you're going to?
I'm not telling you anything.
Come on, there's got to be something. There's got to be something coming, some little it's not that big of a secret, but it's big enough that you get in a little bit of trouble, but you wouldn't get fired, like just on the edge.
No pressure, Joe. No pressure. It's only your income.
He's trying to think of something that he's like, I won't get in trouble if I tell them about this memory card that just come out that no one cares about or something. No.
Memory cards are a tricky one, actually.
Are they?
Well, do you know that there's the shortage of NAND chips, NAND chips?
No.
Okay, this is super interesting. So if you need to buy an SD card, buy it now and stock up. There is a global shortage on NAND chips, and these are core components in solid state drives, which is storage and processing. And so it's because of all of ChatGPT and image curation and stuff like that. They've just bought all of them. So those types of products are experiencing shortages. And so buy up now if you need SD cards, solid state drives, RAM.
Okay, so I was going to say, so even solid state drives and RAM and stuff like that, it's all the same, all gets affected?
Yep, they all require the I don't know if it's NAND or NAND, but yeah.
Okay. All right.
You've been warned, folks.
Yeah, all right. I better go shopping. What was I going to say? Felicity says Tamron is the best. Chuck out the I don't even know if that rhymes.
That's good. Right, Felicity.
And there's rumors in the chat circulating of a new Tamron lens incoming, and there's a lot of pressure for you to release the details, but we won't push too hard. But
no comment.
No, don't. No.
That's all I'm giving the audience. No comment.
Okay. All right.
Well played, sir. Smartly done.
What next, Greg?
Well, before we jump into the news, we've got a bit of a community call out. For those of you, especially those of you that are in the BFOP Groupies Facebook group, you may have seen a post recently about our friend Jen Cooper from Canon Australia. Jen has, and we've cleared it with her. She's quite happy for us to discuss this. Jen's a mum. She's got a partner. She's got 2 young teenage kids. She's recently been diagnosed with stage 4 bowel cancer, which is partly why she wasn't at BFOP 2025 last year. Usually Jen would have been on hand, probably being more crazy than anyone else there. But she was certainly missed. Yep. So yeah, she's been diagnosed with a pretty horrible condition, lots of complexities to it. And she has set up a GoFundMe to raise some funds to help pay for medical expenses, but also to support her partner and kids through what is, and I've been through it. I've lost a partner to cancer. It's a horrible thing for any family to go through, and it's quite destructive for everyone involved. So we'll drop have you got the page there to bring up, Jay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll put a link in the description. I'll throw a link in the chat too, just for anyone that might want to contribute.
So the GoFundMe is set up. If you are in a space that you can donate and you feel like that's a good way to, spend a little bit of extra cash, then I know that Jen Coops and the family would be very appreciative. So she's got an ongoing treatment plan that she's working towards. She's got an incredibly positive outlook and attitude to all of this. And I think at the end of the day, she just wants to make sure that her family are supported, regardless of what the outcome may be. So, Jen, we're thinking of you. We're sending you all the love that we can through the power of the internet, but know that you're in our thoughts, and that I'm sure that everyone in our community is pulling for you. That's for sure.
Yeah. So if you can support, jump on over there. Links in the chat and the description, and I'm sure you could search it on GoFundMe as well.
Yep, most definitely. Thanks, guys. Should we get on with the news?
We should get on with
Let's
the
do
news. Let's do it. All right. Cool.
Okay, so
Nice.
just to kick off, Joe, we've heard that there's a new Tamron lens coming. What do you have to say about that in the news segment?
I was going to make, it's funny. I was going to make that same joke, and then I was like, oh, no, I better not push it anymore.
You can
That's
deal with
so
it. He's a
good.
podcaster.
Yeah, you can handle it. And plus, we're about to just talk about all the new lenses Canon release, so we should just try and balance it out in some way.
Should we jump into a couple of social posts just quickly?
Yes, sure.
All right. Let's start off with Jeff Cable. So Jeff Cable, we had Jeff Cable on last year. Jeff Cable is one of the official photographers for Team USA's Olympic team, whether it be Summer or Winter Olympics, and he's over there again, shooting everyone from the USA Olympic team, Winter Olympic team, in Italy at the moment, and he's been posting some stuff on his socials. We interviewed Jeff. When would that have been? About halfway through last year.
Yeah, sometime last year.
Yeah, anyway, you can look it up. It's in our catalogue of past videos, but he gave us a lot of insight into what goes on behind the scenes for a photographer at an Olympic event for a team. And he's back at it again, and he's been posting some stuff. I remember when we spoke to him last year, it was amazing just to hear just how long his days are, and he has to travel, all across this country, wherever the host country is, to get from one event to another within a certain time frame to meet his obligations. And what was the time frame? He shoots and then edits his images within 16 minutes.
Yeah,
and uploads
it depends.
something like that.
Depends on the it depends on the actual the particular event. But when he's covering specifically USA hockey, which is the team that he's sort of there to follow, that stuff is I'm pretty sure it's like somewhere between 6 and 12 minutes, depending on what's going on, because their game update specific images. But then he does get a chance to shoot some of the other Team USAs and even just other things going on where there's less pressure because he's not specifically the person covering that event. So he gets to shoot a bit more for fun with slightly less time pressure, but it would still be crazy. He puts a lot of it up on his blog as well and sends out emails and things too. So if you're interested in kind of following the behind the scenes stuff, I don't know how he has time to do that while he's actually working, but it's crazy.
9 Olympic Games. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And his images are just the ones from Paris were just phenomenal.
He used to be the marketing guy for what company was it, Greg?
Oh, Sandisk. Wasn't it Alexa?
He was the marketing, what do you call it? Like
the
Chief
VP
marketing
of
officer, CMO, VP of marketing or whatever, like legit Silicon Valley kind of guy.
Not that big of a deal.
knows and has photographed and traveled to Japan with Steve Wozniak. And then quit that to become a photographer.
Yeah. And so when he's not shooting or prepping for an Olympic, he shoots birthday parties and bar mitzvahs in California. That's his main gig.
That's wonderful.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And does tours and everything with goes to the Galapagos. Anyway, very interesting interview.
What
such a sweet guy to talk to. Like just so
he's also getting an email.
Yeah. I see what's happening. Oh, we need to start charging a fee, Justin. We need a contract. Where's Alex's lawyer?
That's right.
All right. So look, we wish Jeff all the best, and we'll keep an eye on his stuff, and
he'll crush it.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, pretty amazing. Next up, someone from our community, Lisa Leach, has been out photographing bird landscapes.
I've got some of those shots for your images. She sends
okay,
in,
we'll leave them.
so we can we can hold on to them.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we can.
And just finally, the last social post, Cam Blake, who joined us only a couple of weeks ago as a co-host on a Monday night, sitting in the hot seat where Joe is now. He's been on his tour in Japan and has been completely rubbing my nose in it. And every time he posts something, I go on and I post a comment saying, "I still hate you," because I want to be in Japan.
Found the snowy, the snowy,
Yeah.
What do you call it? Vending machine.
Yeah. So this is his first time in Japan.
Lake. It's amazing.
Yeah, that lake is crazy. And they were just, the lake is so completely frozen. They just walked out onto it and
unreal.
And they could access that Tory gate, which normally you couldn't because it's submerged. And, you can't get to it from land. But yeah, so Cam's running a tour there at the moment. It's his first Japanese tour. It's his first time in Japan. He's got a very skilled supporting person over there, a local. And somehow he managed to get, I think, 8 consecutive days or something stupid of a clear shot of Mount Fuji from every angle. So I hate him even more for that. But yeah, so maybe we'll catch up with him down the track and see how he went with that. Actually, we've got him coming back for an interview, haven't we?
Yeah,
we do in March. Yeah, in March.
26th of March.
Yeah. So that's it for social news. Let's talk about industry news. Late last week, Sneaky Canon dropped a couple of new lenses, Justin.
They sure did.
What did they
sure
drop?
did. They did a couple of wide angles, 14mm f1.4 and a 7-14 fisheye.
Okay. Now the question is, have you ordered them? One or both?
No. So I looked at, I don't need the fisheye. I for a second I looked at it and then I was like, I'm not going to use that. It goes full circular. It goes to like 190 degrees full circle. So you'll get, the black. You haven't seen any of the, let me see.
I've seen this. It's a little bit like Poor Things. Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
No. I don't think so.
Poor Things every now and then has these fisheye shots, and that was to do with the film and the lens they were using. And I saw on the article that similar thing with there's a skateboard shot, and it's awesome.
Where is it? Let's see if it's going to give us I'll share this quickly. So yeah, it does full circular. I don't think I need that. I don't think it would be a good thing. And they got the bulby front lens element, which I'm just no doubt going to scratch. Yeah.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah. So it does full circular 190, and then it goes to basically like at 14, it's a fisheye effect, but a square
without your
edge,
feet.
like this.
Yeah.
Wow. So it does
crazy good.
Does get very close.
Wow, that's a lot of range for really cool applications in both video and stills, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think they've had one. This is just the first one that's in the RF mount, the native mount, to the current mirrorless Canons. So people have been obviously just adapting the old one.
I love that that photo of the skateboard going around the edge of the pipe, because if he flips upwards or accidentally nicks the lens, RIP the demo unit. Like
I was going to say, you're hitting this.
That just looks so sketchy.
Yeah, so f2.8 to 3.5, knowing that it's an L, like it's gonna be good. And the retail price looks to be $27.99 in Australia, which is, I mean, not unreasonable for a Canon L series, because some of them are even more than that.
It's a specialty piece of glass
hefty.
too.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting is that they dropped this the same day they dropped a 14mm prime.
Yes, a 1.4, which is very cool.
That is crazy cool.
The 1.4 is the same series as the other VCMs that I've been buying, which is this one here, but it's the first one that just differs slightly from the body shape, because all the Canon L series VCM lenses, they're the primes, like they do a 24, 35, 50, 85, and a 20, and they're all essentially the same body, so that videographers can swap them on and off rigs. and it's almost the same weight. It's about the same size, and it allows them to kind of work fast while swapping over lenses.
Very nice.
And this is one of those, but because it's a 14 1.4, the element is a bulb style element again with like a fixed pedal hood, so it's slightly longer and slightly heavier than the other ones.
Still a shit for adding filters.
Yes. Well, it looks like it's got a gel filter holder on the back.
Oh, okay. So that makes a difference, but still, still limiting.
So it is much more in line with Canon's L series glass pricing at $38.99 Australian dollars. So it's one that you're not just going to go and grab as a little that might be fun to play with. This is is something this is an investment. If you do Astro, I'm sure it would be an amazing investment. Otherwise, it also says it's good for broad landscapes. So there's that.
Very broad.
I mean, if you're doing landscapes and not Astro, like you're probably just going to choose a wide lens that is an f4 or something, and not spend anywhere near that much money, because you're probably stopping down to way higher than that anyway. But certainly Astro Beast. So
very cool.
Yeah, very very cool. Something different. Good to see. I think Sigma's the only other brand that's got a 1.4 like 14 or wide of some point, and it's like twice as big, twice as heavy. But this does rely on distortion and like fairly heavy distortion correction in camera, like in camera profiles or whatever. Whereas I don't think the Sigma does so much. And that's probably the trade-off you get for trying to make something lighter, is they're sort of, I guess, bending the rules a little bit by digitally correcting it instead of optically correcting it. I don't know. Does that make sense, Joe? You know more about lenses than me.
It does, but I'm sure even still with all of that, the lines on the side get really curvy and not straight.
Yeah,
so
you'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might have to crop some of it off. Very cool. Just a couple of quick bits. We won't bring these up, but the Canon EOS R5 has officially been discontinued, according to my very reliable source. How long has that been out for? That was the first, wasn't it?
That was the first one, yes. That's the
first one.
Released in 2020, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, the 2's been out for a while now, so it makes sense, I guess.
What else is worth sharing today? Not a little bit of Canon news. Canon launches a white version of the EOS R50V in Asia. So it's just a stock white lens, which is really weird. But we've been seeing that a bit. We saw that one last week. We talked about that orange little TC Artisans one.
Oh, yeah, that
for the Fuji X mount. Yeah, that was
I didn't like that.
Enticing.
You liked
and
it?
There's also the Hectors by, oh my God, I forgot who did them, but they're like this silver color that's like really, really nice. Let me see if I can find them. Give me a sec.
Yeah, okay.
What else have we got?
While you're doing that, just a question from, I still don't know how to pronounce this, Katzenellen Bogen? 3N? Okay. I don't know. What is the distortion on this lens like? I use the 24 to 105 2.8, and man, for that price, it's unacceptable. You can see cropped edges in it. Do you mean, so when it's uncorrected, you can see dark edges? What you'll find is that's in the RAW, that's outside the normal image area. It relies on distortion correction. The same thing happens with a lot of their lenses, but you're actually getting, so that would probably be at like 22, the equivalent frame of a 22 mil lens, and then at corrected, it is a 24 mil lens. But it is something that a lot of people aren't happy about because it's very much a departure from traditional lens design where you had to get it right in the lens, in the glass. But as a trade-off, it's a 24 to 105 2.8. It's like, that's a lens that never existed before. They've obviously had to make some compromises to make it happen. So it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. In other lens news, did you find what you're looking for, Joe?
Yeah, so it's called the Lights, Leitz Hector, Hektor. There's 6 of them. They're all prime lenses. And they're all this really striking silver color. Like I remember when Mac Airs came out and they were all silver like that. It's sort of emblematic of that.
This is so these are a Leica product.
Yeah.
Because they're expensive.
Oh, very. Like all 6 of them will cost you like 65,000. Yeah, I've got this exact page up.
yeah. It's like
so they're cine lenses.
It's 12 grand each. Yeah, but yeah, they look like a piece of machinery. That's
and I like what Sigma did when they launched that camera. What was that weird Apple-esque camera they brought out last year? The BF. When they launched the BF, putting aside what anyone thinks about that camera, they relaunched all of their primes in a new silver to match the camera and in a new black. And they all kind of look fairly similar. It was like that. It was like a set you could get of every Sigma lens in the new finishes to match the new camera. I wonder how they did with sales on that. We haven't really, they've kind of slipped off the radar.
The BF, I think everyone sort of unanimously said, that's really cool. It looks really cool. And then tried to shoot with it and we're like, it's not really cool to shoot with. But everyone was like, it's cool that you tried to do something different, but it wasn't. I don't know if the user experience was worth the trade-off.
I'm glad it failed. Sigma's our #1 competitor. So
that's so harsh, Joe.
Dude, saying Sigma with my employees is like saying Voldemort. Like,
is it really? Is it a rivalry? Do you guys have a poster, like a Sigma logo up on the wall you throw darts at?
Nah, but like if we're at a trade show and we'll be next to Sigma or we're visiting a shop, we will like purposefully frame out Sigma or like cross it out as like a joke and stuff like that.
Do you think they do the same about you guys?
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
It's actually something funny. When I first got hired at Blonde and they're like, oh, you're a videographer. What did you shoot on? I go, oh, I shot on a Pocket Cinema 6K with a Sigma 16 to 35. And they're like, I'm sorry, because we distribute Red and Tamron. So
that's so good. They're like, get out.
Yeah.
Cool. Couple of quick comments just while we're rolling along. First of all, Katz and Ellen Bogan, love it. Katz and Ellen Bogan says, yes, but I was shocked. Even the Sony 50-150 f2 is not that bad. See, that's the thing. 50-150, one enormous lens, and optically wonderful thing for them to have a crack at, and they did it well. But a telephoto is a lot easier to deal with that sort of that issue of really dark vignetting around the edges at that telephoto ends. I don't know why, but when you go to these wide, it seems to be on all of the wide lenses that they're doing a lot of that management digitally for that kind of stuff, distortion. Which makes
it also
sense.
gets to a point where it may not be scientifically possible otherwise.
Yeah,
that's very true. For the size of the lens, yes.
For the
it's always a compromise. It'd be interesting to see what happens should Canon ever release their RF mount, to how third-party
what they do with
lens companies, what they will do, whether they'll push hard on the, these are correct in camera or these are correct on the lens. You don't need in-camera correction. I think that that might kind of sway a few people. Do you think, Jay?
I mean, third party will do. That's why like Tamron have got that 35-150. That's a cool lens that no one ever made before. 35-150 f2 to 2.8. That's what I like to see happen from third party. I like to see them go
unique stuff.
Let's make something that's like either cheaper for what, like, so it's like quality's as good, but it's cheaper. Awesome. Or, hey, this doesn't even exist. Let's make that for that mount. Because that's what you want to see. You need options. I love options.
Yeah, that's very true.
Justin, would you like a role in our sales department?
Maybe. Could go well.
Maybe.
Now,
last couple of quick bits of news. Can we just scoot through those? Just very quickly, Viltrox has announced their first lens for Leica L mount. It's a Viltrox AF 16mm f1.8 full frame, obviously. We've talked about Canon enough. And the only other thing is that Fujifilm, I don't know how this got on the page, Fujifilm posts record high revenue and profits, largely bolstered by their digital camera and Instax and film sales. which is pretty cool. Film is a cash cow. Instax is a cash cow for Fujifilm, and they're even building another factory. I think we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. They're building a new factory in Japan for the increased demand in Instax products. So it's pretty cool.
You skipped over one. I don't know if it's intentional, but apparently there's rumors kicking around of the Z9 II.
Oh, yes.
The what camera brand makes that again? Nikon? Nikon?
Joe,
Nikon?
Did you say Joe?
So they're, hang on. Apparently, so they're predicting a new low native ISO of 32, which can deliver medium format like image quality. That'll be interesting to see if that happens, because that sounds at odds with what the other thing that it says, which is a new 46 megapixel stacked sensor. Doesn't use global shutter, but it does have a 3.5 times faster readout speed than the Z9. That's already pretty decent. And a flash sync speed up to 1/720th of a second, bringing it close to a global shutter camera. The chance of them achieving that and also medium format like image quality seems slim. But I mean, that would be pretty cool.
And also, who's written this speculation? You know, that's the other side of it. Like, who's actually put together this list? Is this the Nikon rumors guy just sort of flouncing stuff up a bit, making it a bit flowery, or is it real? You know,
I don't know.
We'll
Apparently, it'll have a lot of red video features. You know, because they're the same company now. Nikon owns Red. Is that right?
Nikon owns Red. That is correct. And there is a lot of interchange between them, where there's some Nikon cameras that are at the same caliber as some lower end Red stuff, which is getting a little bit confusing. However, there's heaps of tech reviewers that are making all these videos on the reviews, but it bolsters the SEO and it's actually doing really well for both companies. So strangely enough, funny outcome from accessibility of technology like that. Yeah.
Well, and looking at last year's sales, like they've recently posted last year's full year SEPA data, as well as a whole bunch of stuff in Japan around different retailers and what they sell. And just year on year, the camera sales are still increasing. 2025 was a great year for cameras and photographers. You know, we are getting more and more options than we've ever had. You know, we're looking at all these third-party lens manufacturers. There's the renowned ones, and then there's all these Chinese companies that are pushing out glass with big claims, and some of it obviously falls through. But I think we're spoiled for choice when it comes to cameras these days.
Absolutely.
We often have guests say, "Oh, look, all cameras for me, they all pretty much do the same thing. It's just about what feels better or what has the better glass or, that sort of thing." Because, that competition is getting very, very close in terms of differentiating one brand from another, especially at a flagship level. Everyone's just pushing that bar up higher and higher.
So, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and we had that chat on Thursday's show, which if you haven't seen, go and watch that because that was fun, with Peter Coulson. 3 hours of discussion on all things photography, but he is big on that he's like, it is about the gear, but it's not about the gear. That's like his motto. It's like any of the cameras will be fine, but he likes a camera that feels good in his hands. That's why he's chosen the cameras that he's got. And I think he said he's actually working on a YouTube video at the moment where he shoots a heap of stuff with everything from his iPhone up to his Hasselblads and in between to show that he can make great images with any of them, but there's a reason that he's chosen the ones that he mainly works with. And there's a reason that he hasn't upgraded his Hasselblad for, what did he say, 15 years or something like that. Just it works and it feels great in his hands and he knows it. And every time you get a new piece of gear, you have to take a bit of a backward step to learn that new piece of gear.
Yeah, the quality of your work suffers a bit.
Yeah. So anyway, go check that episode out if you haven't already after this one, not right now.
Yep. And just to top off this news segment, a little bit of watchworthy YouTube. Our good friend Adam Edwards has just published episode 4 of his scorecard series for the Mara Triangle, The Honest Reality. It's about shooting wildlife in Africa. Amazing videos,
Yes.
really down to earth, great content creator, and great to see that Adam's pushing out content.
Very cool.
So that's it.
There's a couple of quick questions here that we can maybe dive into, or Joe can dive into before we get into the next segment of
Oh no, my name's
attention.
appearing. Shit.
Yep. Here we go. Let's start with this one. Katzenellenbogen says, does Joe know if Sony will ever stop with the 15 frames per second limit on third-party glass?
That's more of a Sony question than a Tamron question. I'm unsure. However, Sony seem to care about the end user quite a bit, and so they will find ways to make them happy in the best way that increases revenue and market share. So maybe that feature won't get fixed for a while. It's hard to exactly tell, but it's definitely something they're likely aware of.
Yeah. Is it? I mean, it's probably one of those things. It's hard to know. Is it a technical thing? Is it a sort of a limitation that they've placed on there, or is it a limitation that, things, I don't know, they've had to optimize their lenses to do something to work at that speed or whatever? It's hard to know.
Yeah, it's quite tough to know. Yeah.
Yeah, but it would be nice if they did ditch that, because it probably is the one thing. Although, I mean, depends what you're shooting. 15 frames per second is definitely enough for me for most things. So yeah, if I wasn't, I'm guessing if it's bird photography or something like that, people want their unlimited, or obviously sports photography. But even for the sports photography, I usually cap it, unless the person's doing something that's like a very limited chance of getting the shot. I might bump it up, but I actually find 10 to 15 frames per second is plenty for most of my shooting. But if you're spending a lot of money on a lens, you like it to be able to work at whatever your camera is capable of. So I get it.
Yes.
Just
on a slightly related note, the a lot of the content that's coming out on socials about the photographers at the Olympics, the Winter Olympics at the moment, and some of the shots they're capturing of the snowboard events and the ski and the downhill and the slalom, and some of the photography is just phenomenal. I just feel like every time we have an Olympics, that artistic level of image capture increases. I've seen some really amazing compositions that are more artistic than sports photography, but they still tell the story.
Levin has a question. Hey, Joe, what happened to Syrup and their awesome Genie motion gear and sliders?
I believe this was a product that Blonde Robot used to distribute. Yep. This was before my time. I don't know the specifics of what happened there. If I did, I wouldn't even share it because it's sort of bad form to reveal that. But I don't know too much about the products themselves. So unfortunately, I don't really have an answer for you there. Sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
That's
obviously
not something.
What's
the good of you being on the show? Can't answer those sorts of questions. You didn't read the terms and conditions.
What? Come on. How come you don't know if Sony...
Sorry, I was supposed to know that I was going to go on a podcast and be aware of products from back when. And
go back through the whole catalogue. No, I do remember I remember those products. But yeah, I don't remember anything about what happened to them when they sort of disappeared from the range around in the camera stores and stuff. But I do remember seeing them. They were pretty cool. I think I fiddled with one day. Yeah, quite cool sliders. What else?
Let's move on to tonight's topic as selected by Joe Orchard.
Art versus attention. Let's do it.
Art versus attention.
Art versus attention. What were you thinking?
What's on your mind?
On this topic?
A lot of my work and a lot of work that I've done throughout my career is social media related. And my perspective from that is I studied media communications and majored in cinema studies. And so part of that was looking at the history of cinema and just screen motion in general and print. And all people did throughout history was try and get wider and wider and wider and wider. But now everything is this, square and flat, like sort of how we are displayed here.
Yeah.
And at the same time as Instagram's the particular gripe with this, like marketed and sold as this place where artists in particular can share their feed and get accessibility and eyes on their work that they couldn't previously get without accessibility to magazines or publications or art or galleries. The things that people post on Instagram changed a little bit from cool artsy things to attempts at getting attention. And so if your goal with your photography is to get followers and, get likes and stuff like that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You're totally welcome to do that. I am concerned, however, there's a big part of the photography community that's a little bit about that loses the art part of it and focuses a bit more on the attention. And so it's more of a personal thing, and this is very subjective. There needs to be a good balance. And if we push a little bit more towards the art side, we'd find more of a balance that way.
I think it's a good topic, and I think you raised some really good points. Last week we were discussing, I think, was it with, what's his name? That idiot we had on, Glenn. Glenn Lavender. Now I've lost my train of thought. We're talking about how, places like Instagram used to work for us as photographers and visual creatives, and now it feels like it's the other way around. We've got to keep feeding it for it to be of any value to us.
Yep.
It feels like it's flipped over time to, that sort of influencer style content that's, call it clickbait, call it shock value, whatever you want to call it. It's that getting that attention, getting people to like, because there's an inherent need to build up your likes to feel value or feel valued. That's kind of where social media is heading. It's training us to feel valued by giving them content that we get likes for. That's kind of my view of it. What do you think, Jay?
It's interesting because obviously I do agree. Like if you get trapped in optimizing for whatever gets, I guess, the most attention, the most feedback and praise, if you optimize for that, it's going to change your work. The question is it changing your work for the better or for the worse? And that depends on what your goals are and what you're trying to create. If it leads you to a place where you're creating things that you're excited about and proud of, so for example, every episode of the podcast that we do, we try to make a better episode than last time. So hopefully more people watch it. I'm hoping that is not leading us down a path of creating something just for attention, but it's helping us make a better show with the feedback that if more people watch it, I'm thinking, okay, well, that's probably a better show than last time, and we get incrementally better. But I guess the issue would be is if we start doing things that are not in line with what we wanted to create just because they get more views. And then you go in the other direction. I think that happens a lot, just not even on just social media, but also you see it happening on YouTube, I think, where the really popular people start creating things that are not what they really started out to create, but they made a video like that one day and they're like, okay, I guess I need to make them like this now because otherwise I won't get as many views anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's a chef on YouTube named Joshua Weissman who has fallen under criticism because he used to have recipes and now his videos are, I tried the hottest barbecue in Texas. I did this. I went to this. Yeah. And so the products moved away from, something educational and a bit more self-serving.
Yeah, it is a bit self-serving especially when you start with those I went 21 days without taking a photo, whatever it is, it is instantly, it's not about what you're putting out to people. It's what you want people to come in and look at. It's more about trying to sort of almost trap or trick people into sort of starting and engaging with what you've created. Sometimes I'll criticize Justin for our thumbnails for YouTube as clickbait, but it's true. At some point, we've had to find a balance between, feeding the machine that is YouTube to allow it to recognize us and to share us with other people, to bring us up on other people's feeds. And, unfortunately, you do have to play that game just a little bit at least.
Absolutely. And when it comes to podcasting, I cut and edit clips from the podcast 3 to 4 a week. And so you get micro stories from the podcast. And my mindset is that the podcast is the main media piece and that these clips are supplementary and should hopefully draw you to the podcast.
Yeah.
But as everyone sort of knows, the clips get way, way more views. And interesting fact, if you're worried about views and that you're not getting any attention, here's some quick maths to show that you get more views than you realize. We get on average about 2,000 views a reel on Instagram and on YouTube 3 times a week, times that by 52. So we're getting 60,000 times 2, so 1.2 million views across 2 platforms a year, which is nuts. And that's more eyes on Tamron and Tamron Australia than anything else.
Yeah.
And we have some clips that have done a lot more than that. So views become arbitrary, especially in the context that you sort of look at it there.
Interesting. But, okay. So you're saying we should chase attention, not art. Okay, I got it. No.
It's the context of how you want to sort of.
We're going to put out a clip about that. We're going to put out rules.
No, I get, and I get, and I think it's very different too when, when photography, it depends on why you're trying to create. If we're talking about photography specifically, because videos and YouTube do have that different sort of thing where there's so many metrics there.
Yep.
That because it's got more data, obviously. So the traditional photo sharing platforms, which are not really photo sharing platforms anymore, of like Facebook and Instagram, the data that it had to go on, I think, is like how long you looked at it for when you like were scrolling past. Like, did you sort of slow down and look at it? And then obviously if you liked it and put a comment on it or whatever, was a bit more data. Whereas, this like YouTube has the data of, did you click on the thumbnail? How long did you watch for, and when did you drop off? Did you subscribe? Did you like? There's all this sort of, there's more, someone might watch for half an hour or for 45 minutes or whatever. And it's got a lot more to look at. I don't know. I think that might be a little bit too, where it's, if you create a photo that's glitzy and people stop to look at it, it's going to show that to more people. But that's like a split second decision. It's almost closer to just getting someone to click on a clickbaity thumbnail.
Yeah.
This is kind of the same as getting someone to stop and look at your photo on Instagram.
It's
and
interesting
that's
because, YouTube, you have to decide to watch a video. No matter, what's happening, you have to accept a short, correct? Yeah. If you're going to watch a Get the Shot podcast or this, you have to click it and decide to watch it. Whereas on Instagram and YouTube Shorts, you get fed content. And I can't believe that is now a distinction. You always had to choose what media you watched and engaged with. Well, if we've broader history, there was one news station, there was one newspaper, but like in your town. But media was about choice and options and what you decide to engage with. And now it's mostly given to you on a game that can be played.
Yeah.
So then if you go, Greg.
No, I was just going to say, it is interesting that you've now got to scroll, call it a doom scroll, call it whatever you want. But, you've got to scroll until you find the thing that catches your eye enough for you to stop for 3 seconds. People are putting out all this content and we're mostly just bypassing it as fodder, until we get to the nuggets that we actually want to engage with. But we've had to interact with so much stuff to get there. And you're right. I don't think Instagram doesn't give us much choice. And the amount of times that I've had to retrain my algorithms to go back to photography. And it's interesting. The things that it keeps wanting to steer me towards are sports that people my age typically play. So, like golf and stuff like that. and I'm not sporty at all, or variations of, attractive women and content that's sort of geared towards a middle-aged man. And I constantly have to read.
I get fed attractive women playing golf. And so
I don't know whether winning streak.
If I'm getting
that's a hole in one,
derivative of your algorithm is heading into me, I'm not sure. Anyway,
you know what I mean? And so, and so I've got to retrain it, and if I happen to look at, like when I was looking at Peter Colson's stuff, obviously a lot of his stuff is female nudes or almost nudes. They all have something on, but, and just from looking at his stuff, it then just kept trying to feed me that same sort of content, not by photographers.
No, not art. Yeah,
no, not
art
artwork.
Though.
Yeah, more the sort of the shady side of stuff. And so, it's really frustrating. It keeps trying to tell me what it is that I'm interested in, and I'm fighting it. And I say to people, if it wasn't for this job, or trying to be a photographer and have a bit of a presence, I would ditch social media because it's not serving me. I'm serving it.
Yeah, as soon as I get a connection with someone on Instagram, if it's going to turn into a podcast appearance or other business where I'm instantly trying to text them on WhatsApp or something else.
Yeah.
As soon as I can distance myself from there. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read out a couple of comments, I think, if that's all right. But
because Adam Edwards and Dennis have both got a couple of great ones.
Yeah, but let me maybe pose a question for you guys to think about, and for the chat to think about. I'll read some comments and then we'll hit it. It's like, so if that's the case, if we sort of know that chasing attention on social media is probably not the best way to create meaningful art, unless that is specifically, if we're doing it Mr. Beast style, our art is to get as much attention as possible, then that's fine. But if you're actually trying to create something different and something new, where do we share our work? That's my question. So I'll read a couple of comments. Jason says, there is potentially a highly destructive circular pathway underway too, with the increasing push to attention seeking also being what the AI algorithms are being trained on. That's a fair point. Yeah. That is then AI learning all the bad stuff that's getting reinforced by sort of clickbaity, rapid, fast attention stuff. But it goes on to say a possible positive from this might be that it forces people back to live in-person interaction. Maybe.
Absolutely. That's on the rise. It is absolutely happening.
That's what you've seen?
Yeah. That same company I mentioned earlier with the Pink Man shoot, their whole thing is a lot of more live events, and that's getting more turnout than they can possibly imagine. They sell out in like 12 minutes, multiple hundred tickets to things and stuff like that. So,
wow. That's very cool.
Dennis says, one quality view matters more to me now than a million likes, truly. And Adam Edwards goes on to say, this is a topic that's so hot for me at the moment. Currently making my why I'm focusing. I'm not sure. That's why
that's the heading. Why I'm focusing photography efforts to YouTube in 2026.
In 2026, exactly. Yeah. And where are we? Who else has been going on? A lot of back and forth. I'll try to get through all the comments. Craig Murphy says, I'm done with Instagram. I don't need to be on there. I know I'm missing some stuff, but can live with that. Yeah.
Yep.
Flickr.
Good.
Okay. I didn't even know that was still a thing. People say that sometimes, but I don't know if it's available for me.
Yeah, see, I got off Flickr. I got off Flickr because it started to get filled with crap that was like social media. It just became a dumping ground, and there was lots of porn and all sorts of stuff going on in there. It just really lost its edge.
It's always just with these new technologies and apps, it's always memes and nudity. It always falls into those two categories. And I'm fine with memes, but
yeah. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like nudity, but
there's other websites for that.
There's other ways to deal with that.
I don't want an algorithm. I want to choose what I look at.
That's right.
Adam Edwards says, I'm kidding. Or am I? Adam Edwards says, here's food for conversation. Photography is slow art. It needs you to take time to observe and digest. Yet we are putting it onto platforms that have an average photo view time of 1 to 2 seconds.
And an image that's about, the size of a 35mm film slide.
Yeah.
On a bit rate that's absolutely tiny. So any of your details are just gone.
Yeah. I'll show you some images in the Your Image section of mine that I'm having major problems with. That's a fair point. That's a great point. Who else have we got? Okay, a lot of people talking about Flickr. Yeah, okay. Maybe it's making an old school comeback, like retro gaming.
I'll have to get Flickr.
I have to look at that.
Lucinda, social media legend, says, I gain a lot of my work via social media. I think the biggest push at the moment is that people want to connect with people. You have to cut through the AI with personality. That is absolutely true. Yeah. So you've got to put yourself on there. But the question is then, so we're talking, that's a great point. If you're trying to promote yourself as a photographer, it's definitely, you're probably going to have a harder time if you go off social. So you could definitely still do it, but it's going to be tough.
But having said that, Lucinda has a prolific social media game. Like it is one of the most impressive photography social media games I've seen.
And it's not necessarily like here's my images. It's like here's me taking my images. Here's my favorite images from this. It's also lots of work turning that work into putting her personality into the page, which is it's very much her.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow,
what else?
Fantastic, Lucinda. I've just got you up on my second monitor. Great job. Keep it up.
Yeah, she's crushing it.
Yeah.
As soon as those Meta glasses come in horizontal, I'm getting some. I just don't. I hate vertical video. I'm not doing it. I refuse.
It's 2K and it's a square. I've got a pair. So you can do horizontal if you edit it.
Is it a square?
Sort of. It's like a 4x5 type thing, but it's 2K, 2.7K across. So or up. No, 2.7K up. And so you may be able to get something wide if you.
Sorry, Greg. I keep trying to pull it up as well. Adam says, just turn your head to the side. Look, I've thought about that, but I feel like I'll get a sore neck. Okay, what else are we got? It's Lisa Leach is trialing Iris. Yeah, I tried Glass. I just found I didn't find the images I was looking for on there. That's why I ended up buying photography books recently over the last year. I think that's probably the way that I like to consume photography, and I would like to go to more things.
I want to double down on that and say that's an absolutely great idea. I've interviewed on the podcast a few people who were winners and runners up on Australian Photographer of the Year through the Australian Photographer magazine. And in addition to seeing the winners and runners up, you see the next sometimes 15 to 20 people who place there. And so they're all getting exhibited differently. So if you don't like social media and want to see your work somewhere else, apply for these competitions.
Yeah.
I think the biggest challenge is overcoming the giants that is Instagram, less so Facebook, but they're still in the game. These other sites like Glass and Iris are great, but most people don't know they exist, especially if you're looking for clients. Clients don't know to look on Glass.
Yeah.
No, that would purely be for just sort of consuming other people's work and having them consume your work, that you're all photographers, which I guess is what we're doing on this podcast. Like no one's coming on this podcast other than Tony Tony's our best viewer that doesn't have a camera. But
shout out, Tony.
no one else. Shout out Tony. Unfortunately damaged his MCL on the weekend. So I don't even know if he can drive his sim at the moment.
Tony.
Grade 2 tear. Yeah. He's
I'm on my way, brother. I've got coffee. I've got beer. We'll get it working. Don't you worry.
We'll figure it out. Okay, last couple of comments. Where are we? Bruce Moyle. So when does Lucky Straps do a member touring art show? Look, that is genius. That is absolute genius. I would love to do something physical at some point. I've thought about whether we could do a calendar, a book. Like, could we do a photo annual book or something from like photos that you guys have sent in and stuff? I don't know. I've thought about different ways that we can somehow bring some of this into print swap maybe. I don't know.
We are in discussion at work on doing a Get the Shot book, and that is all I'll say for now.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. And we're gonna do it too, and ours will be better because ours will be called the Photo Annual, which I think sounds way cooler. We'll have a book off. We could do a book swap. I'll give you one of our books, and you can give us one of your books.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's bringing it into the physical world. I think is a great idea, especially until my my future prediction comes true. Here's my. Oh, hang on.
We're gonna call her.
We got a caller. I think. Let's see if we can get him in. Nick, can you hear me? Oh, it's gone. Where'd he go? No, he hasn't gone. Hold on. Hold the line. You know the deal.
See, Joe, this is how a podcast is done proper.
I know, right?
I love the company Rode, but their Rodecaster Pro 2 does not do Bluetooth very well at all.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We got you. We can
hear you, mate.
What's going on?
Hello, team. Oh, I was just. You so have to do an album. We can. Oh yeah, you promote it through BFOP. You'd sell a couple 100 copies before you even promoted it outside. You'd cover your costs before you even did any advertising.
Oh, I didn't even think
Genius.
about that. That is genius. I mean, how would it?
And then get everyone who's been on the show to send you one image, and there you go. You'll have like 60 of the best photographers in the world to start with. You're done.
That's a great idea.
We could retire.
And then just maybe we can have a few pages reserved for like a competition entry that's open to anyone that hasn't been on the podcast as well. Somehow.
Yeah, and you guys put your stuff in. We can have like close-ups of a derailleur.
Oh, you don't want to see their photos, trust
me. Oh yeah, I don't know. I'd have to get a bit more artistic to try and slot my stuff in between Bruce Moyle and Dennis and all the legends, and the Nick Fletchers. I had a question for you, Nick. Oh, hang on. Yeah, go, Greg.
Oh, good. Yes.
Nick. Justin and I, we caught up this week. I went to Bendigo and we were chatting away about planning our year out, and we both asked ourselves and each other, are we actually invited back for BFOP 2026?
Good question. Almost certainly, yes. Of course you are.
Almost certainly. 70% chance. Yeah.
Yeah, because we started making plans and we got excited. We went, oh, hang on. Do they even want us?
I was like, I better book some accommodation, but also I don't know if we're definitely going. I've got to wait and hear.
I keep bumping into people who I'm certain are going to BFOP, and they go, am I invited this year? And I'm like, yeah, have we not told you?
I think that's a fun way to do it. Keep people on their toes.
Yeah, no, we'd love to have you back. That'd be awesome.
Wonderful.
There it is.
Wonderful.
Clip that.
Get the thing printed. There's not enough printed work out there. I'm so sick of images on computers. Get it printed.
Yeah. Okay. Photo Annual. We're making it happen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. See ya.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks,
Bye.
Nick. Bye. Oh, what a
right.
legend. He calls in every week now.
The only live call-in photography show on the internet, believe it or not.
Let's get another one. Someone else call up. Come on.
Yeah, it's people. They don't as often. We've had David from San Francisco call in, so we've had an international caller. But yeah, people don't get their phones out quick enough. They just jump in the chat. But you know, it's there. It's there for you to have your opinion. What was I going to say? Yeah, we'll definitely. There's a lot of good ideas about the book. Bruce is saying suggest the process behind the scenes with curation as a YouTube series would be awesome. That would be very cool. Like, film those videos while we're doing it, but don't drop them until the book is out.
Yep, and get a printer in Japan to do the printing, and I'll fly over and do the behind the scenes photography. It'll be fine.
Work expense covered.
Work expense.
I'm going to get to Japan at some stage. I'm telling you. Anyway,
I went over New Year's. It was beautiful.
Shut up. I hate you. I hate you. I hate Cam Blake.
Hate everyone in Japan.
All of them.
Very quickly, before we move on from this awesome topic, I'm going to tell you, Joe, my prediction for where we might eventually be able to show our work virtually without having to have a gallery exhibition. But instead of it being tiny on a phone, when we do have our good goggles, our Apple Vision Pros, and our Meta Oculus Questy things that are actually good. Because I think that's going to happen, some variation of it. I think we're going to be able to curate our own gallery experience that other people can come into and hang out with us virtually. But you can have the photos displayed big. You can have Alex Frayne can have his amazing soundtrack
called
going
Roblox.
with his
That already
with his
exists.
image. Does it really?
And Gary's mod, you can probably do it in there too.
No.
I'm sure
I can
there's
hang
VR
artwork
games
on
that
the
can do
wall?
this. I'm sure there's this exists in some capacity.
Okay, well, I want it to exist in a simple and specific capacity where it's like
There we go.
is
It probably is not easygoing.
yeah, like this is something that anyone in this chat could get the app. They could put their photos there. They can move them around and sort of design their space. They pick a space that they want. They, it might be.
And they
whatever.
could sell it digitally in this thing called a non-fungible token.
Let's not go back there, Joe. Let's not go back there.
No.
I know you said you wanted to move on, but I did have like some quick notes about you sort of, as you pointed out, have to post on social media if you try and get client work. Some quick things to be a little bit more on the artsy, authentic side of things that I've found that has worked for some accounts. So the big one, authenticity. Who are you? Who's the person behind the camera? If they know who's taken the photos, they know who they're hiring and who it is. So that's really important. More time in pre-production. So figure out what your style is going to be on Instagram and actively focus on that. There's a guy I found. His name is Hoak Photo. All of his photos are green, gray, and a little bit of yellow. And it's a stunning feed to look through. And in terms of making your photos pop a bit more on Instagram, depth of field and texture. Texture's really hard because of low bit rates and stuff like that. But if you can make something look a bit more tangible, especially on screens, they're impressive, but also not that impressive in a lot of ways. Those are my quick pointers to doing a little bit better on social media.
So when it comes to that, you sort of almost talking about treating the photo specifically for social media, as in sort of, so when you talk about texture, like you might be adding more texture than you would if you were going to print it 1 meter wide and go on the wall, because you're like, hey, this is going to be viewed on a tiny little phone. I need to do a specific edit for the phone that probably wouldn't look great printed, on a beautiful A2 whatever high res.
Absolutely correct. Yeah.
Okay. Good tips.
Great tips.
Anything else?
No, I think we can draw a bow in that if we're going to try and stick to a reasonable
post videos of
timeframe.
BTS as well.
Yeah.
Keep doing that.
Yeah, Lucinda's she's the gold standard.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, well,
can I open my box now?
What's in your box, Greg?
Have you got a box too?
Oh, mine's not in a box, but while you're getting your box, I can just pretend if you want. Or if you
I love this whole "what's in the box" thing because Justin looks a little bit like Brad Pitt, and I'm getting Seven vibes.
If only. But yeah, that is where that meme is where the name come from. Yep. I don't want to commit to screaming it out. Do you want to go first, Greg?
Yeah, can you make the screen a bit bigger?
Oh yeah, I can make you. I'll put us over here.
Whoa!
Hang on.
So I got a box. I got a box from Fujifilm Australia. What a surprise! Everyone says. So if you've been following, I've been talking about some lenses recently. I've tested a bunch of lenses. I didn't rush into making this lens choice. Probably over the last maybe 3 or 4 months, I've been sort of playing around with, trying to work out what I need, what I have, what I'd like, that sort of stuff. And so I settled on a prime lens. Oh, that's neat. I'm just waiting to see if they packed any other goodies. No, they didn't. All right.
You thought they might have given you a little present?
Maybe. Who knows? So this is the new version of the Fujifilm XF 23mm f1.4. It's weather sealed. It uses Fujifilm's new linear motors, and it is more specifically designed for the Fujifilm Gen 5 sensors and processors and camera bodies, which I now have with my Fujifilm X-E5. So here it is here. Sorry, I meant to be doing the ASMR stuff. Sorry. And so, yeah, I decided to go for this. Even though I've already got a 23 f2, I wanted something a bit more pro, something with a bit better aperture for low light stuff, but also just an everyday lens for me when I choose to carry a slightly heavier lens, because the other 23 is quite light. But this is faster in focus. It's got a brighter aperture. It's got sharper optics throughout the range and throughout the aperture range. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to get this out and test it. And even though it's one of their pro grade primes, it's still tiny.
What do you reckon it weighs? How does it feel? How does it feel in the hand?
It's about 380 grams.
Throw it up a little bit just so I can get an idea.
No, there'll be none of that. There'll be none of that. There'll be none of that. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. Very excited. So that's my first new lens for a little while. I don't have the other one here to compare, but yeah, I'm pretty excited. It is a sexy lens, Dennis. It is. And so 23 is my favorite focal range. On many of my trips to Japan, I shot with the 23 FT almost exclusively, F2 almost exclusively. I love that focal range. It's a 35mm full frame equivalent, and it just seems to work for me. And so I wanted to lean into what works and go for something a bit brighter and faster. So here we are. So stay tuned for some content on that one. Some content. Yes.
Will you put it on social media?
I will, on little pictures, little small ones. But yeah,
apparently the human eye is roughly 24 millimeters. I've heard that before.
Yeah, I've heard anything from 24 to 50. And then
if I people say
50, say they're like, yeah, 50's the perspective, and then 24 is like the width. And I'm like, okay. And then I don't know.
Sure.
I like 28, which is why I asked Greg to go and collect this for me, which is my new old Canon EF 28mm 1.8 to go on my Canon film cameras. I sent some film off today. I tested it out. Oh, can I do it this way? Yeah. Tested it out on the weekend. So I ran a roll through with this on, and I ran it on two cameras because one of them was a new camera, and I was worried. I was like, what if the camera doesn't work, or what if the lens doesn't work? If I test a new camera and a new lens with a roll of film, I won't know which one is shit. So I mixed them all around and tested it on everything. But yeah, thanks for getting that for me, Greg.
No worries.
It's beautiful.
Well, it was good because I was coming to Bendigo a couple of days later, so got to deliver it in person.
Very cool. You got any boxes to open up, Joe?
I don't have anything to open up. Do I have anything camera related? My room's a bit of a shit heap. I'm selling a bunch of Lego, and so it's kind of everywhere because I took a bunch of photos of it. I got this little bad boy
collector. What's that?
It's the Sony ZV-1. It doesn't have any lens attachments to it, but if people often wondered, does size matter? And this little bad boy here got me 13 million views on TikTok in 6 months. So, yeah, that was street interviews.
Nice flex.
I was going to ask you if it was dancing.
Of content imaginable.
Really? 13 million views. Wow.
The first video we ever did the second one we released got 1 million views. And we're like, we're on fire, guys. We're going to keep doing this and
take over the world.
It took us a long time to get there. And here's a little secret about virality. You never really know what's going to pop off and what does say. Keep trying, guys.
Yeah. Levin just dropped in to say, just bought that myself last week. Very impressed with it. He says that he's up to 2 views so far with it. So we call bullshit. We call bullshit on your claim, Joe.
Oh, I'm a better editor than I am shooter. So
maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, there you go. So you don't have any boxes, Justin?
No, mine was already out of the box. I had to test it. No, but it won't be long before I.
The other
buy
box I
something
have
else
is I've got
like
a
that.
Niwa. How do you pronounce it? Niwa.
I'm not
It's a
sure.
light stand.
I like
I've
We
got a
don't
good one.
distribute them, so I don't know either.
Yeah.
I've blocked them out. I've blocked them out.
All right. Let's get into
okay.
your images.
Yeah, we should get into your images. We should. What am I going to do? We should do this first, I guess.
There it is.
Might get a new sound to go with our new intro, I think.
Oh, that's so good.
It is good. Should I start off with our images for something different? Because we haven't shown any for a while.
Yeah, let's
Want me to
just a couple of quickies.
Do you want me to quickly whip through? I've got a lot, but I'll just quickly whip through to show Joe why I'm having so much trouble with social media.
Well, it's because you're shit, but aside from that.
Where are we? So I'm taking the entire podcast on a journey with me as I try and launch a pet photography business. And so I've been working on I've got the studio set up. This is the latest sort of a couple of test shoots that I did about 2 weeks ago now, I think. And these aren't finished images. I've just been playing around with edits. But I have a ton of trouble with the ones that have been posted to social media so far. How good's that? Love that dog. It's exactly what he's going for. I was dreaming about getting the shot with the bed hair, with the sticking up at the back, because I know this dog comes to the gym that I go to, Monty. And so the issue that I'm having is banding in these backgrounds that have slight, like smooth gradients when you post them to Facebook or Instagram, particularly
because they compress the
like so particularly like once you get into these red, this was funny. Once you get into these red sort of gradients and stuff, the banding is just, I can't get rid of it. How funny is that?
Good dog.
Good dog.
I've got a whippet named
Bad dog.
Alfie, and he's got the longest snout. Like, it's very impressive.
Oh, yeah?
And you can't rest anything on top of that. He just...
No chance. But yeah, these red background shots are just, I don't know. You put them on. They put a couple of the ones. Actually, I think the one on social that went up was actually just these ones, and I even had banding in the grey.
I think you've got to separate
Richard
the subject.
Greenfield. What happens if you clean the background up with a Vodo? I need to talk to you about this, Richard. I did clean the background up on these with a Vodo, and I was worried that was sort of causing some of the issues, but I played around with it, and I think Bruce is onto it here. Resize and add noise, but you cannot fully deal with the compression artifacts. But happy to be proven wrong. But yeah, from the research that I did, they were just like a bit of noise over the top might help, but it's social media's compression.
And you lose a bit of the sharpness in the process on the subject itself.
Yeah. Rick says try to break up noise. Yeah, that sucks. Richard, you're coming on the show soon, Richard. When is that? That's coming up. Oh, I had it somewhere. That's soon. Is it next week or the week? It's not this Thursday. The Thursday.
Sorry, I'm choking to death. It's next week.
Oh, yeah, not this
on the
Thursday.
19th. Now this Thursday we've got Bronwyn Kid, followed next week, the following week by Richard, and then who else have we got? We've got Jeff Freestone's coming up, Craig Wetchen, all sorts of people.
Oh, yeah. Craig, we had him on the podcast.
Whatever.
You beat us. Anyway, there's my dog photography round 2. We're getting through it. I'm doing 10 test shoots before officially launching the business, and I'm up to 3. Oh, even Nick says add noise too. All right, I'm going to try that. I hate noise though, and grain also works. Okay.
I should get you in touch with one of our Tamron ambassadors, Alex Kearns. Her whole thing is.
Yeah, Alex is the person that has made this happen. She was the one that like helped spark the idea from just being something I've thought about doing to like do it. yeah, she's the best.
How's me introducing a photographer like you don't know them already? Pardon me.
No.
Yeah, no, we've had her on the show. We met her at BFOP. She's got one of our belts, and actually,
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, and she's been on. She co-hosted.
She
the
co-hosted
week as well
a few weeks ago. Yeah.
So she's been on twice. Do you want me to bring yours up, Greg?
What?
Your images. Have we looked at these yet?
Oh, I don't know if we did. I think
No,
we
we
ran
didn't
out of
have
time
time.
last week because that bloody Glenn Lavender didn't shut up.
Oh boy.
Can talk.
Bloody Glenn.
All right. Tell us
Yeah,
about
just a
it.
couple. So actually, I just put a blog out about this on my own site today. So you can go and check it out and the story that goes along with it. I met up with a friend who I went to high school with. We were best mates in high school. And when we finished high school, we hung out a lot and we kind of got into photography together. We both went to art school and we set up. This is the guy who I've often told this story about how when I shot film when I was, just a 18-year-old, a friend of mine and I, we converted one of his parents' ensuite into a photo lab. And so we had all the plumbing because it was an ensuite. And so we had these benches and everything from the bench up was photography and everything from the bench down was homebrew. So this is the guy who I'm talking about. So we kind of fell out of touch when I started uni. There's a little complication around that. And then we hadn't spoken for about 30 years. And then we connected a couple of weeks ago on socials. And then we met up in the city to go for a photo walk together and just catch up on 3 decades of lost friendship. So it was a pretty emotional time and a pretty amazing time, but it was great to also kind of combine that with something that we used to do together all the time, which was to go out and do photos.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
so it was really
that's
quite
so
a special day for me, catching up with this person. So yeah, I got out and I had my Fujifilm X70, my little fixed lens compact. And that's all I took. That and a spare battery. That was it.
Interesting. So you often take the X70 out instead of your amazing XE5. The XE5 is so good. How do you?
It is good. It's just a different shooting experience for me. It's a fixed lens. There's it's that whole limitation thing that I don't have an EVF. I've just got a screen. It's a fixed. What is it? It's an 18.5. So it's about what does that work out to? Like a 28.
Is that a 28
full frame?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why won't they make a new version of that?
Yeah. It's the bane of my existence, Justin. Don't get me started. Tanks and submarines. So I take this because it's tiny, it's compact. I don't have to think about it. I can use it. I can pretty much use it in my sleep. I've had this for over 10 years. And it's just a great little go-to point and shoot, literally just a point and shoot, which is great. So yeah.
My first ever job was around the corner in the Emporium there. So that is like the one crossing I reckon I've been across more times in my entire life.
Yeah.
Small world.
It is.
Yeah, great shots. I really like the station one. And this
That's stunning.
Yeah, it's got so much
Thanks, guys.
contrast. Like, yeah, I didn't think that one was my favorite out of these. I thought it was one of the ones with the orange. Like, this was really cool. But on second look, I actually really like that one.
So I'm using Fujifilm film sims. I shoot raw and then I apply them in Lightroom. But I kind of give them my own little personal twist on the sim. So I take the base, which is a Fujifilm sim, Acros, or usually classic chrome. And then I sort of lean into, making them sort of jump out a little bit more, making them my own. So yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Reminds him of COVID. Yeah, it is interesting. There's no people in a lot of these, which is not like you normally.
No, well, it's a Sunday morning, and I really wanted to showcase the architecture because it is pretty phenomenal when you go down into these new subway stations. Like they're pretty spectacular. To be honest, when you think about how far underground you are and what's been built above you, and they're incredible. So, and there's lots of beautiful angles and shots, and even with people, because I did take some shots with people in the frame. They're just remarkable spaces. And it's good to get down there now because not everyone's using them yet. You know, they've only just started increasing the train rotation that's running through them, I think, this week. So yeah.
Cool.
Fantastic work.
Great shots.
Both of you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, oh no, I've just gone off the wrong thing. There we go. Let's move on to Felicity Johnson.
Oh,
wow.
Hi, Justin. Hope you and the gang are well. A few photos for tonight. This one is Devotion in the Sacred Heart Cathedral, Bendigo. I know it well. I've been in there. I've shot weddings.
You've shot in there a number of times, haven't you?
I have. The lighting is horrendous. When you're trying to make the bride look not yellow.
Yeah.
Up the end where they stand up there with all of the yellow stained glass windows.
Thanks,
other
God.
than that, it's quite wonderful. Great image. And then we have sheep and dog. I love this photo as it shows the speed this red heeler is using to control the flock. Brakes on. Yeah, that's nuts. That is very nice.
Have you guys
tons of
noticed,
detail.
Jay, and those of you watching along, that it doesn't matter what Felicity points her camera out at, we always get a great shot.
Seems to be that way.
Absolutely. I'm 2 for 2 so far.
Yeah, and you should see her macro work and her landscape work.
That's what I was about to say. With good variety, though, too. It's not all the same subject. It's always different stuff.
Yeah, and her birding stuff. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Just a smart ass all round, Felicity. Love you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bruce.
Great shot. I like the framing, too, of this. Yeah, it works very well. I don't know if it was cropped afterwards or if that's what she got in camera, then well done, magician.
Yeah.
And finally, this photo shows the close interface between Salt Lakes and Cropping Land DJI Mini 4 Pro in the Mallee.
Unreal.
She's just been out on another drone adventure just today or yesterday, I think I saw on her socials. She's been out and about. Amazing work.
Yeah. I dig the shadows hitting off the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. I'm not. Yeah, for some reason with drones, I'm always it's probably just most of my photography actually. Always tend to point myself towards the sun, but then I end up missing out on stuff like this where the sun's casting interesting shadows with the direction of the shot.
I'm turning this moment from Felicity's photos into something about me, but I did a drone work for a rooftop Pilates class, and it was just meant to be sent to the other videographer for them to incorporate into their video. But I just edited the shots together and just put some Instagram track over the top, and it has like way more views than all of my other posts combined times 3. And it's just satisfying drone footage. I love this sort of stuff. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, drones are so cool.
Yeah.
And dangerous.
Yep. And dangerous, yeah. And you have to do all the stuff. And yeah, I don't get mine out as much as I should for those reasons probably. But yeah, awesome work, Felicity, as always. Who else? Who have I got next? Oh, Paul. Ta-da. Paul Carpenter says, my travel buddy from last year's New Zealand road trip asked for a copy of this image yesterday. I had left a copy of the RAWs with him as a backup before I travelled home, and he picked this one out. Interestingly, I had rated the RAW of this a 1 star, and it was completely filtered out and lost to me. Funny how different images appeal to different people and why you should occasionally go back and look at your rejects. And this was a Canon R5 with 16-35 at 21mm, f11, 0.4 of a second, and then goes on to PS, are you happy with your RF 16-28? My 16-35 is 15 years old and okay for landscapes, but rubbish for astro. Okay, first let's talk about the image first before I talk about the lenses.
Yep.
Great color, great great line of the waterfall coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The leading
Really
lines, the sort of crescent shape it sort of makes. It's fantastic.
Yeah, because there's one in the sort of on the far bank, and then there's one close to the foreground. It's kind of like that same kind of scallop shape. You know, it's interesting about these sorts of images that we go back and look at, and or someone points out something that we didn't appreciate. And even over time, I've found, you know, I've gone back to some of my older first couple of trips to Tokyo images, and images that I had disregarded. As I've developed more of an eye for the art of photography as opposed to the technical skills like back then, as you develop more of an eye, some of those images that I discarded initially, I've actually republished because and edited again because I was looking at them differently. I was a different person. I had a different set of perspective. I had different experiences under my belt and a different appreciation of my art. And yeah, I too recommend everyone go back and look at some of their old stuff that they thought wasn't worth sharing, or even just, you know, putting up for their own sake. Definitely worthwhile exercise.
Yeah, completely agree. It's fun too. That's why I actually like to shoot in black and white a lot of the time. And then it's like when you get bored, you can go back through and discover them in color and just see if it's a different feeling and process them and stuff. Yeah. One final thing on this image is I think it's the swirly here that's drawing me in. It's the other water swirls. So it's like the shape is this way, but then this is like kicking back and swirling, and it's just I end up looking at that every time I look at the image. My eye ends up falling onto the swirly.
Yeah, now I can't not see that.
Yeah, it's a pattern break. It's so good. Yeah.
Okay, and the lens. So the RF 16-28, a lightweight, non-L version of a 2.8 wide-angle lens. Honestly, it is a great lens for what I use it for because it's light, but it relies heavily on distortion correction and vignette correction, which I think for landscapes, if you didn't need wider than 16, it would be totally fine. But if you're saying, but your old one's rubbish for astro, this one won't be amazing for astro either. It's going to rely on vignette correction, and that then in astro introduces way more noise in the corners. And then also if it's also relying on distortion correction, then you end up with issues in the corners with your stars and stuff like that.
I didn't know that.
It's like you could definitely use it. You give it to Richard Taddy or someone, they'll make an amazing image with it. But there are definitely better astro lenses than that. Unfortunately, they're expensive. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you other than either get the 15-35 L version for double the price almost and double the weight, or you know, almost a similar level of quality for astro. They do the 16 2.8 pancake lens. It doesn't cost you very much, but it's not a zoom. I don't know. It's a tough one. That is a tough one. It would be fine. Not amazing. The 20 mil 1.4 that I've got, which is about the same price, I think. Obviously, it's a prime lens. That would be way better for astro. So that's my 2 cents.
Cool.
Okay, next we have Lisa Leach.
Hey, back in the game.
Hey. Oh no, why is that small? Hang on, that didn't work very well. Let me try this one.
You had one job.
Bloody Max.
You had one job.
It's hang on, that one's better. Uh-oh. We might only be able to pull up 2 of Lisa's 4 images. We'll see. The other 2 are very small. Something's happened. It's like it's only downloaded a preview or something. Anyway, let me read the email out first, and then I'll see if I can figure it out. Lisa says, it's been a while since I sent anything through for the podcast, as the summer months can be largely uninspiring in the landscape genre, particularly if, like myself, you have a penchant for muted colours and moody scenes.
A penchant?
I know. I was like, I liked reading this email. It has cool words, makes me sound smart. I made some images recently of the Victorian bushfires in my local area. I was a little nervous a passerby may consider me insensitive for capturing the devastation. I was mindful not to include homes and property that was lost or damaged, and only documented the effects to the landscape. Wonderful. As I walked with my camera in hand, I noticed greenery emerging from the burnt soil. I was amazed at the tenacity and resilience of Mother Nature. Perhaps there's a lesson there. By the way, I now have 19 months experience in photography and loving it. Kind of
19
awesome.
months.
Yeah. There's 2 other photos, but they're just teeny tiny, and I don't know what I've done wrong, Lisa. I'm sorry.
They are on Lisa's social media if anyone wants to go and check them out there.
Go and check them out over there. There's one that with a tree that I really like, but I can't see this one.
That horizon, it's like a perfect sine wave. So good.
Yeah, it is too. Just
yeah.
Great choice of leaving the gap. Like the way that you've left just enough space up the top there to balance out the space down here. And the multiple sort of waves running through it. It's great work.
It draws your eye all around it, doesn't it? This shot, you're traveling the whole time.
Yes. Yeah, very cool.
Well
Great
done,
colour
Lisa.
palette too.
Great work as always.
Yeah. Dennis is saying the first one he showed on the preview is stunning, and it's on Lisa's socials. Yeah, I can see it. It's small here, and it looks so good. Yeah, we'll have to bring it up on a future episode. Sorry, Lisa. It does look, very, very cool. Next up, we have David Mascaro from San Francisco with not black and white street portraits, but color street portraits. Here are some quick street grabs with the point and shoot 28 Ti and mostly Kodak 200 and 400. And just answering a question we asked once about whether he gives the photos. He does. He actually carries envelopes with photos, because I see a lot of the people again and then I pass them out.
That's so cool.
And then the ones that don't mind giving email addresses, I send them to them as well. He says,
that's beautiful. That's a beautiful full circle story, isn't it? That you're wandering along and you come across this person who you took a shot of last month or whenever it was, and you hand them this photo, and it's just, I think that's magical.
Yeah, especially because it's all, most of what he shoots is on film. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. The colors of these, when they come through, I was like, all right, I need to go and buy some more.
I feel like I met this guy when I was
200.
living in Germany.
This guy?
Yeah, this one in particular. Yeah.
This particular guy.
He sold me something I shouldn't have bought.
One of... Yeah, great shots. Great to see some color. You're the black and white street portrait guy, but these are awesome.
Very, very nice.
I love that one.
Yeah.
I love the green, the kind of green hue to it. It's just
that's the gold. That's got to be the gold 200, isn't it? I put a roll of that through my Sprocket rocket, which is down with John at Lumina Labs. So I'm excited to get that back. I'm really hoping I didn't muck it up. I gave it to my friend to take a photo of all of us on the boat, and I told him exactly how to do it. And he took one, and I was like, awesome. And then he took another one, and this is it's a manual wind. So I was like, he's like, don't worry, I got two. So it'll definitely turn out. And I was like,
it could be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
It's not just a white blob.
Last one, Jamie Vandenbrink, Tweak Productions. These were sent through week before last and somehow didn't make it through. Jamie says, hope you had a wonderful week. Have been going through my photos and I thought I would share some I took at the Melbourne Royal Exhibition Building. Booked a tour of the building when visiting Melbourne for the Comedy Festival for my birthday a couple of years ago. I had taken photos of the exterior before, but really wanted to see what it looked like on the inside. Absolutely nailed the timing for the tour as it was in between setups for events, so it was empty. I was not disappointed. The inside was as beautiful as the outside. It's quite colourful, but I love this black and white series as it emphasises the lines of the architecture.
And the way the light falls.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's
love
insane. That
So
is
much
amazing.
detail.
Yeah. Well done, Jamie.
Okay, hang on. I want a proper Glyn roast. All right.
You're not going to find us doing a Glyn roast, but you'll likely find Glyn at a roast.
Yeah, true.
Let me see. I can't even. I'm like trying to just find something to do a Glyn, and I'm struggling.
Sorry, we're taking away the attention from these wonderful photos here.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of. All right, there's got to be something here. All right. The clouds in the background are too cloudy. Actually, here we go. You may have slightly over processed here around the leaves. Where are we? We're getting a little bit of haloing around the leaves. Might have had to push it too hard to recover the sky and the shadows because there must have been quite a lot of detail and contrast. So that's probably the only thing that I can see. Oh,
Stop.
The flag.
Just stop.
The
Just
flag isn't straight. I'd like to be able to see the flag. You could have brought a big fan to ensure that the flag was blowing perpendicular to the frame.
Prep work.
You've got to prepare for the weather.
Yeah.
I'd like to see
we
a
expect
slightly
straight flags.
Slightly slower shutter speed, so there's a little bit more like streamy water flow, like a waterfall. What else? No, I don't know. I got nothing.
There's nothing else. Amazing.
Yeah,
I love 'em.
exactly. Nothing to roast on these photos.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's it.
Very cool. I think that's the last
for
image.
this week. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
We did it.
We finished
made it to the end
surprisingly
of the
early.
show.
I know.
2
Look at
hours
us, and it's
10
not even
minutes.
midnight.
All right, we've shaved 20 minutes off. We're aiming for a
Getting
1.5 hour show. We're getting there.
We're getting
Week by
there.
week, we're doing it.
But look, that is where we're going to draw a bow in tonight's Camera Life podcast. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. A couple of things, just get some admin out of the way. Please don't forget to give us a like on tonight's episode. It helps other people get notified that we have content in the waiting. And if you haven't already, well, why not? You need to subscribe. Subscribe to the Camera Life podcast. Hit the bell icon to always. And then that way you'll get a notification in your time zone to when we're next going live. And on that note, we go live twice a week, every Monday evening, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight or Standard Time. And that's when we do our random photography show. And then every Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard or Daylight Time, we do an interview with an amazing photographer, whether they be Australian or international. We get them all. We get the best ones here, unlike some other podcasts. Hey, Joe.
Speaking of other podcasts, head to the Tamron Australia YouTube channel, which is linked in the description below, and also just search Tamron Australia and subscribe to that so that you see all the new Get the Shot episodes that have been recorded. Because if we can get enough of you to go and subscribe there now or over the next day or two and they see that spike, we'll hit them up to try and give us something that we can give away on one of our episodes. I don't know, whatever their most expensive lens is or something. Surely.
Yeah, that
Surely
35
that would be
to
the good
150. We've just got a spare one of them laying around.
Easy.
Cool.
Just
There you
one
go.
of those. We'll start
From
with
the horse's
that. We'll
mouth.
start with that. But yeah, we'll I'm sure we'll be able to get them to support the channel in some way. But
Absolutely.
even if they don't, go over there and get that, because there's great
Yeah.
episodes coming, and there's great episodes that have already happened, like the one with Dennis.
Yep.
And Glenn.
Yeah,
What's
and
already on there?
I'll add, just on a personal level, thank you for the plug as well. But thank you for you guys for having me on and for sort of lifting the whole, a rising tide lifts all ships, and what you guys have done for Australian photographers and podcasts and all of that above. You guys are really leading the charge. And so thank you
thanks,
so
man.
much for
Thanks, Joe.
enabling this space in this community.
Appreciate
thank you.
it. Thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate
Bruce
that.
says they're giving away Sigma lenses, which have been dropped. I mean, that works.
That's one.
And just one last piece of housekeeping. Don't forget that tonight's episode of the Camera Life podcast, the Random Photography Show, has been proudly brought to you by Lucky Straps, which is also us. Yeah, we're our own sponsor. How smart are we? Head to luckystraps.com and have a look at our fine range of premium leather camera straps, handmade in Bendigo, Victoria, by Justin and the team. And I don't touch anything dirty, so I just
Me
stay
neither,
here.
really.
Yeah, you don't, do you? No,
No.
you don't.
Couldn't
But
even get
yeah,
a
head to
hand
Lucky
tag.
Straps. Yeah,
They are nice.
Yeah, they're
They
pretty
are
good.
very nice.
And if you do happen to buy a Lucky Strap product, then use code Greg at the checkout for a healthy little discount too. But other than that, please join me in thanking Joe Orchard for joining us tonight and sharing some insight and some wisdom, but also just getting into the groove of chatting about our craft. So it's been an absolute pleasure, Joe, and we'd love to have you back on again in the future.
Of course, when you guys don't have 1,000 guests booked already, I'll.
That is true. Yeah. We have a problem. We want to interview everybody, and we're just the entire world, and we're just chipping away at it.
Yeah,
twice a week. We're getting there. Twice a week.
Hell yeah.
All right. Will I play some music and we'll read some comments?
Yeah, let's do that. We'll say goodbye to some peeps.
Lucinda used their lucky strap at a wedding last week. Don't ask. Ooh. Oh, you're a wedding photographer now. Very cool. Bruce Moyle says, thanks, Joe, and everyone. Great fun tonight. Thanks, Bruce.
You're very welcome, Bruce.
As always. Tin Type Man, thanks. Enjoyable as always. Rick Nelson, thanks everyone for a great show. Thanks, Joe. Here, Joe from Paul. Hang on. Tweak Productions. Unlike Garfield, I love Mondays because of the Camera Life podcast. Thanks for another great show. Love seeing everyone's images. Gives me inspiration. Craig Murphy, Night All, great show.
Hi, Craig.
Who else? Lisa Leach. Good night, guys. Thanks for showing my images. Who else? Paul Sutton. Dennis. Philip Johnson. Tin Type Man. Jason. Felicity, everybody. Thanks, everybody. If I didn't read your name out. Oh, Levin, Review Photography. Thanks, guys. Always fun. See you next week, Levin. And we'll catch you guys on Thursday.
Be safe, everybody.